And I don't know if you agree with me on this one. I don't think City as well has the quality of players that they have had in the past. I think there's a huge gap in quality, the players that they have right now, quality and mentality. I'm looking at Grealish, as good as he looks, technically good as he looks. It doesn't look to me like a very serious, determined individual. I think he's a player that just comes, does it. If it works, if it doesn't work, that's it. And against like 2-3 seasons ago, there are players that were in City that take winning personal. People like Gundogan, people like W. Silva, and of so many years ago. When the push comes to shove, you see them make it personal. They don't. It's not about Pep now. It's about those players. Their pride. People like Kevin De Bruyne. Sometimes you see them, grab the game by the scruff of the neck and deliver the goods. Transit TV, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. We just watched City come back we go down at Goodison Park and run away with the 3-1 victory. Chelsea as well. Return to winning ways. Nimi is here in Wados will join us in a little bit. Chelsea did some very good stuff in the beginning of that game, especially the first 20 minutes of that game. Did some very, very pacey and good stuff. Got ahead, of course. The usual cry started again, and Everton got one back. And no, who did the Chelsea play? Crystal Palace got one back, and eventually, after a disallowed goal by Jackson, Chelsea managed to go back ahead through with a penalty through Madueke, and eventually won the game 2-1, meaning Chelsea ran away with 3 points in this one at Stamford Bridge. So with me today to look at these games and look at the key elements of the game is Chelsea back. City, are they still the City that we know? It looks like they can't just keep a clean sheet these days. It's difficult for them both home and away to keep clean sheet. So we're going to look at this game today. Nimi is here with me. Let me welcome to the show while we wait for Wados to come in. The man, he can't wait to get on this one because according to him, Chelsea is going to win the league this season. We'll find that out when he joins the show. Nimi, good to see you, man. We didn't see you last week. The last show we did, some of our viewers are like, hey, where is this man? Did he run away because Chelsea did not win? Or
No, guys, I understand, with the current predicament, people, but I'm here. I stand gidigba. I'm standing with Chelsea on their mandate. We shall stand.
Right.
So I'm here. Thank you for having me, Reggie. I'm happy. This is fresh. Just I went to the mountaintop. I came back. And we had that victory today, that labored, toiling victory today. So I'm happy to be here. Let's get it cracking.
Yeah, Everton 1, City 3. Oh, this one, it was a little bit of, I'm sure, shock to Guardiola, myself, or whoever, because Everton was brave in this game. They pressed City high, forced mistakes, got their lead. We are playing very good, and it looked like it was going to be one of those days that City is not going to take advantage of the situation, the points dropped by Liverpool and Arsenal on top of the league and try to catch up with their game in hand. But somehow the brilliance of Foden got them back into the game, and with the rest now is history. I don't know. What did you make of that game?
Oh, man, it was, again, thank you again for having me. It was a great game, end-to-end action. Most fans, neutrals came into the game giving City the edge. It wasn't going to be any kind of
challenge,
any of that. And prior to last game, Everton has been on the winning slide. We know they got 10 points deducted. They were full of life, full of energy. So people were coming to be suspicious of Manchester City too. As you stated. Mancity seems to have it very difficult trying to shut down the goals. This is a team that was primed for their defense. This season, they haven't been able to get all of that clicking. Gavidor playing the left back, Akanji sometimes in the midfield, Ake, Stones, Walker, that defensive fluidity we haven't seen from Manchester City, and it has affected them. So Everton went in, scored the goal, but we knew as the game proceeded that City was going to dominate. City have been, doing this in the last few weeks where they concede and they fight and claw their way back to win the game. So, just as they did against Luton, I kept thinking, with this game, City, don't write City out. And Pep even said, don't write City out of this league. Don't write City.
Nobody can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I know you in the past you talked about doing dash things. Do you think having got that lead and managed to, finish the first half leading in the game, do you think Everton should have kind of adapted their game to what they know how to do best, which is having some low blocks and try to hit City in the counter and see if they can at least go away with a draw as against continuing what they were doing? Because I know going toe to toe is not what is Everton cannot be superior to City playing that way. So they can. I don't think they could have sustained that over 90 minutes. Do you think some guys should have retracted to what Everton usually does when they go for these big games and try to see how the game and maybe worst case scenario get a draw out of the game?
It is said there's a saying that it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You can sit down here and say if there's some games you play, you score, you want to defend, but the body, the mind may be saying doing it, but the body can't do it. There was sustained pressure from Manchester City. Manchester City, as you know, have more technical players, more gifted players on the ball. They basically put a foot and pounded Everton for them to surrender. And after the first goal, the 1-1 when it happened 2-1. You could see that Everton surge, trying to see if they could rescue a point. And at the end of the day, what do you call it? At the end of the day, when the goalkeeper made their mistake in terms of clearing, he could have just cleared the ball with one leg. He wanted to trap the ball and clear, and that's when that ball fell to Bernardo. And with Braithwaite couldn't even control the ball, and Bernardo getting that ball and chipping it in. It was a game that it had all the hallmark of City right now, where they stand and how they stand. I'm still worried about City in terms of don't write them out. They are just 7 points, one game in hand. Arsenal is 42 points, 19 games, City 18 games, 37. If they win, supposedly they win their game in hand, it will be 40 points, 2 points behind the league leaders. So let's chill, let's relax. As a City fan, you'll be hoping that they get their acts together. They don't look kind of jointed, but as a neutral, you're loving this because the season is open, the league is open. Everybody seems to be, enjoying their game.
Okay, so like we saw Arsenal play against Liverpool last weekend, and we know even in the time of series best times, Liverpool are always in the pain in their ass, as they say. The club has always been the biggest challenge for Pep. I think over 2 legs every season. I don't think Pep really has double over Liverpool, even if they can even get one. Sometimes they lose and draw one leg. So do you think if it comes to that, because from what we saw last weekend, Liverpool and Arsenal seem to be at par. If it gets to the game between them deciding who's going to win the league, you can't really call that right now. So if that comes to City, that between City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, it depends on who wins this 6. You're going to play twice each other. 6 games between the 3 of them determines who wins the league. Do you think City looks better or is a favorite to win the league? Because this season Arsenal has only beat City twice. Liverpool usually wins City. So do you think City, can has an edge over the both of them?
Again, soccer is all about form.
Yeah.
Form right now is City's out of form. That is the truth of the matter. They are struggling, especially in the beginning stages of games. So we don't know in 2 weeks' time.
Exactly.
Or 3 weeks how they feel. For example, remember last season, Arsenal was in form. going up until March, February, end of February, March.
Mm-hmm.
And that started going down. City
Mm-hmm.
was out of form, and they just, boom, they cut form at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, saying right now, today, if they play 6 games right now, they close all of them down back to back. I wouldn't put City to win the league. But what's going to happen when, 1-2 players from Liverpool, Salah is injured, or 1-2 of the key players get injured, or Arsenal, or they get out of form, they get 1-2 bad results, and the players' head go down. So that's why it's the most entertaining
Exactly.
league.
Of course, you can't
Predict.
Yeah, if you watch the last show we did, they put me on the spot and asked me a question: will Arsenal win a trophy? I told him you can't use are you saying the word can they or will they? He said will. I said no, you can't say will. Even Pep will not tell you that the City will win the league. Yeah, because that's the beauty of the game that we watch. But I can tell you reasons why they can win it. Whether they win it is a different thing altogether. Like you rightly said, you don't know how these players are going to wake up the next day. And sometimes just one back call by the coach can ruin everything before they come back. But like you said, based on form and what we see right now, City doesn't look like favorite to me. Not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but from what I see, yeah, I don't think that, because what they did today, if they do that against Liverpool or Arsenal, I don't see them coming back to win the game 3-1. They won't. They won't. They will lose that game. Or worst case scenario, they get a draw. And I don't know if you agree with me on this one. I don't think City as well has the quality of players that they have had in the past. I think there is a huge gap in quality of the players they have right now, quality and mentality. I'm looking at Grealish. As good as he looks, technically good as he looks, it doesn't look to me like a very serious, determined individual. I think he's a player that just comes, does it. If it works, if it doesn't work, that's it. As against like 2-3 seasons ago, there are players that were in the city that take winning personal. People like Gundogan, people like David Silva, and of so many years ago. When the push comes to shove, you see them make it personal. They don't. It's not about Pep now. It's about those players. Their pride. People like Kevin De Bruyne. Sometimes you see them, grab the game by the scruff of the neck and deliver the goods. People like Grealish, like Potato said, Foden is probably the most gifted or talented player on that pitch, but he's not consistent enough because of probably the mentality of this guy. I don't know what you feel about that before we move to Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely. You hit the nail on in terms of the quality. City had the likes of, in the past, you had someone like Yaya Toure, you had a Vincent Kompany, who was a monster in that defense.
Yeah.
He was a leader that he not led by talking, he led by action.
Exactly.
Characters in the dressing room that you need, right? You had, players like Kolarov, you had all those players with character and leadership quality. Right now in the City frame, even last season, you had a Gundogan. You had a that came up with, I was looking at the Mahrez scored up to 17 goals last season. You had a Mahrez, you had a Gundogan.
And he still wasn't a regular.
And he still wasn't a regular, right? You had all those players that were contributing their side of the back. And you had a Kevin, with Kevin De Bruyne, it's like a Steph Curry in a team.
Exactly.
Points, and he's injured. But that's no excuse. And also, keep forgetting that all the games Manchester City have lost this season, there was one factor there.
Rodri, most of them, Rodri did not play.
Not play. So if I'm Pep Guardiola, I'm scavenging the whole of Europe,
looking for another Rodri.
Who is going to be my Rodri? The guy that talks in, always disciplined. As a matter of fact, people may not understand. People that haven't seen Rodri in real life play. When Manchester City came to the United States, they came to Houston and they played against Club America. I want to go watch that game. I took the camera, right? Because I love defensive midfield. I just focused on Rodri. And boy, oh boy, what Rodri does even without, you see on camera what he does without the ball, what he does, you can't quantify it.
Yeah.
Most of the game that goes on the reading, the anticipation, the quick turns, the moving out of space so you could have the other players could have space. What he does on the field, My old boy. When they
Yeah,
say he's one of the best players in the world,
exactly. It just looks like that's what Fernandinho used to do for them. As you remember, it was very difficult for Pep as well to let Fernandinho go. 36, 37, he was still starting
he
games
was,
for City because of what you're talking about. And this leads me to what I mentioned in the last show. I was asking my guys, what do you think would have happened if City had laid hands on Declan Rice? It would have been game over for the whole EPL.
I would have been
Can you imagine the Declan Rice in this City team?
in this
You know,
team.
it would have been game over. You know, so
Yeah,
yeah, I agree with you on that. Rodri is massive for
was
City, and the only problem that he has now is Fernandinho hardly used to miss games. Yeah, once in a while, red card here and there, but not consecutive 2, 3 games. He was always available. So that's one thing I think Rodri needs to work on and try to stay on the pitch because it looks like he's
true.
the he's the X factor for
Was
City. You
yeah,
know. Yeah, then we move to Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 1. And a breath of fresh air for Chelsea. Nkunku is back. The first game is first game on the Premier League game last weekend. He shows flashes of brightness, and he continued that today. There were some very interesting exchanges between him and
Jackson.
Modric, Jackson. The three of them gave Crystal Palace something to think about the first 15, 20 minutes of the game. Chelsea would have been out of sight after 15, 20 minutes, maybe 2, 3 goals up if they are taking their chances. Which Nkunku was was guilty of one chance. Modric, though he got his goal, but he also squandered, I think, a couple of them. Jackson, as usual, continued with his normal way of missing chances. Of course, in this one, we didn't see Palmer, we didn't see Sterling. After the game last week, I was questioning how Sterling managed to stay on the pitch after that horrendous. According
Yeah,
to Osborne, Osborne said it was a criminal a miss. That was the word he used to qualify that miss by Sterling. I was wondering how he managed to stay on the pitch for the rest of the game. And today, it looks like Poch heard those questions and dropped into the bench. Palmer, the young boy, probably needs some rest because he played so many games already for Chelsea.
he
And
was
like I also said, it looks like Chelsea players are endless. Every game you see a player that hasn't played for like 6 games. From nowhere today, we see is it from Matson or something like that? There are two players,
yeah, yeah,
and
Matt.
yeah, there was one other player too that played. Is he Chukwueze, the guy that played the penalty? He's been around.
Yeah. Chukwemeka, he comes in, yeah.
Yeah, so these players are just endless coming out from Chelsea ranks. I don't know. What did you make of the Nkunku, Mudryk, and Jackson combination?
Yeah, I think Nkunku is showing us what he can bring. I wasn't there last week when you talked about that Sterling play. That Sterling play, I don't know where you play ball in Nigeria. Those are the kind of play that they wait for you outside the field. After you finish, you're getting out. That's when they'll start beating you on the gate. Beating the hell daylight out of you. So Sterling was lucky. This was not some kind of place who would have done something to him. But I'm coming to today's game, as I've told you, as I've always said, I'm beginning to look like a broken clock. Listen, Chelsea is inconsistent. Today's game, Nkunku came in, he showed us flashes of what he can be, like the pass to Gusto, all the way to Mudryk. He's not in game time shape, game time form. So he's going to build himself, build his minutes, but that is a key critical player. And we hope that he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, because normally when you go a long playoff like that, come back, usually after 2, 3, 4 weeks, you get that niggle that takes you back for another 2, 3 weeks. Then you come back before you get fully fit. Yeah, that's the risk for Chelsea right now. Considering what he has conducted the last 2 games he has played, it looks like it's going to be key for Chelsea going forward. It is going to be a very, very difficult time for Chelsea if he gets a knock and and goes out for a few weeks, because Jackson doesn't look serious, doesn't look like he does every other thing good, but just to score goals is not.
Yeah, I'm going to come to Jackson, but as you are alluding, you see what Nkunku can bring to the table. You see what Nkunku can actually contribute. So going forward, that, behind the striker role, that's where he is. I know he missed the chance he was supposed to score. The one Jackson did that brilliant follow-up play to lead him there. But you look at Mudryk. Mudryk is still a player, still trying to get in there. But you see his confidence is not all the way there. But he actually balled out today. You look at Ian Madsen. For the sake of me, I don't understand why he's not playing left back, and Poch is playing Colwell, because Ian won the player of the season for Burnley last season as a left back. So give the man, and his contract is coming up. It's about to end. His contract is about to end. So give him that opportunity
Playtime, yes,
in his regular position. You look at the man I call the Kabu Kabu striker, Michael Jackson. For the sake of, I don't know, I've said it from day one, even from preseason. I was telling people, this is not. This is I'm having internet echoes here. So from preseason, I have said this guy is not the caliber of player that will take you. I don't know if you remember, Reggie, the caliber of player that will take you to win silverware. This is not the quality of player that you need to the next level. For the quality that Chelsea needs, you need a player that will have 3 chances and he scores 2. You don't need a player that will have 7 chances, 8 chances, and he could just tap in 1. There have been instances where Jackson has the ball, shoot, he wants to trap the ball. You begin to ask yourself, is this guy really a striker?
Yeah, exactly. So, because sorry to call you short right there, because I was watching him today, even the offside goal that he scored. You could see that he didn't want to take that chance. It was just a lucky. I don't even know. He just cuffed it somehow. He got into the net. So do you think it has to do with? Does it need to be trained, or does it need to be dropped? From the team to so that he can watch from outside and see. Because I saw Broja, though he didn't score, but he looked more like a 9 for me than Jackson. Why does Poch keep playing Jackson?
The thing about it is, Broja just coming from injury, 1, and number 2, in terms of again, that's what I'm saying, the golf and quality. Broja is not a prolific striker. Broja is, you are looking from a Kabu Kabu Michael Jackson to a Danfo Broja. So it's still the same
level.
The same level, but different color. So my brother, the thing there is, those are not serious. I don't look at them as serious players. Poch on its own, we had some flashes of good play today, but in all, I still think that there's so much work to be done. Labored
for those 3 points.
It was labor. We played like a mid-table team. Crystal Palace is 14th, I think 14th in the table. We were the same. You couldn't differentiate Chelsea and Crystal Palace. You could as well carry the Chelsea jersey and wear those Crystal Palace players, and it will be Chelsea FC. So, so those are one thing. But I'm looking at Lavia too. Lavia came in, he was able to shine a little. So looking at that too.
Yeah, but I was just asking him in the beginning of this game today, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, first 15, 20 minutes, Chelsea should have been, could have been 2-3 goals up. There was some very beautiful combination between Nkunku, Mudryk, and Jackson, though they failed to take those chances. Eventually, Mudryk took one, and Crystal Palace came back. What did you make about that combo? And do you think that's the way to go for Chelsea going forward? No, considering that Sterling was not there and Kopama was not there, which one would you have preferred?
Sorry, which one? As in who and who?
Like today, we didn't have Sterling and Kopama. Then Mudryk, Jackson, and Nkunku, we saw some very beautiful combinations, though they couldn't take the chances. So, which means, today we didn't have Sterling and Palmer. Obviously, it looks like the 5 of them cannot be on the pitch at the same time. So,
Right.
but today, what we saw looked very enterprising from these three that Poch went with. So, what do you think going forward is the way forward for Chelsea? Going forward with those forward positions.
Well, I think we know that Chelsea has a lot of forwards, and it's good to see other players what they can bring to the team, and it's good to see the combination of Nkuku and
Modric.
Modric and Jackson, and Madsen on the other side. So you see, I like first and foremost, I like the combination of Madsen and Malo
Modric.
and Malo Gusto.
Gusto, yeah.
Yeah, combination was right, but again, that's the story of our season. I watched your last show. You guys were talking about. I mean, our last game, Sterling. I mean, it's good that he's sitting out so other people can play. What he did against Wolves shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? If the time of, I think Chioma was saying that during the time of Mourinho, you do that. You see that for at least 1 week or 2 weeks, because that was one of the worst things I have seen in football.
Exactly.
So you can't. Barcelona can't do that. Arsenal cannot do that. Even Spurs can't do that. You have to set up your player.
Exactly.
Somebody saying, "Oh, because you guys were saying, well, I'm trying to deviate. I'm coming back to your question,
Yeah.
but you guys were saying, oh, it looks like because he are giving
Jackson
Jackson."
like too. It was me that asked the question. Was that what was going on in his mind?
Well, that doesn't make sense because that pass wouldn't have been for Jackson. It would have been for Palmer. You know what I mean? So there's no reason at all. Whether he's
Not
giving a player 10 chances doesn't.
No, I was just trying to play the devil's advocate for him, but of course, like Ugum said, that miss was criminal. There was no excuse.
Yeah. So that's our story. That's our story this season. Selfishness, inconsistency, and lack of effort and character in some of these forward players. So, but like you were saying, yeah, I liked what I saw today. Modric and then Kuku. You can see that Kuku can play as a number 10. He can play as a number 9. So that's what he was coordinating. I was seeing you know what I mean? He doesn't carry the ball too much. Just 1-2 touch, give to your player.
Set players up. Exactly. He was doing a progressive play and passes.
That is football. So he's going to be in that team for a long haul. And I like what I saw today. And well, it was a very crazy ending, but we got the 3 points. That's what's important.
We move on. Yeah. Another thing that I noticed in the game that worried me was Chelsea kept making defensive substitutions. You could see Badishaya came out. He was struggling. Disasi, I know I've been saying this almost all through the season that you cannot be. You try to give the Thiago Silva a rest. You're leading a game. You still needing to come in. That tells you the I don't know what you think about that department exactly going on. How is Chelsea going to survive the season with that kind of situation? Because for you to be at that position, you are on front foot and you're still worried about your defense. You have to bring Thiago Silva in to steady the ship on that side with individual mistake, looking Chelsea in the face. I don't know, what you think about that side of things.
Well, I remember, I think it was on week 4, again, before we played Bournemouth, I told you that Poch has to do different things because Thiago Silva is not going to play not going to play every game. So I said that you have to give these guys the chance. Sometimes when Thiago was there, we even lost games. So you have to give them chance. It's good that he gave Disasi and Badishil this chance, this combination, and see what they can bring to the table. Right now, I think part of the problem is because we are really under pressure. We need 3 points, so everybody's making mistakes here and there. So if we had won some of the games, like 5 games that we played, I can name them: Arsenal, Bournemouth, Brentford, and Wolves. If we won those games, we should be somewhere around 4th or 5th right there. But because we're not there yet, everybody, everybody's under pressure right now to perform and to get. So there got to be some they are making a lot of mistakes. You can see that. So right now, Poch needs Thiago Silva to be there to act as a sweeper, you know, and that's what he's doing for us.
Yeah, didn't you see what Bado is saying? Is always optimistic. It looks like what he's saying right there is if Chelsea can pick up, have some run of winnings, that probably the quality of these players will come up. And I want to. That's another thing I observed in the element in the game was that once Crystal Palace retracted to their usual low block, Chelsea struggled. You're on mute. Maybe you're on mute.
Hello?
Yeah. So once Crystal Palace retracted to their normal low block as midway into the game, Chelsea struggled to manufacture anything, and that was when they got their goal. And for a long haul in that game, it was the usual, Chelsea we've not been seen. In the beginning of the game, Crystal Palace came toe to toe, and the game was open. It was easy for Chelsea to make play and make things happen. Once Crystal Palace realized themselves and said, hey, this is not, we can't sustain this. Which is what I was saying Everton should have done against City. It became difficult for Chelsea to create anything. I don't know if this is still a worry for you. And like Bado said, you also agree that once Chelsea manages to pick up 1 or 2 wins, the confidence level will grow, and Chelsea probably will pick up from there.
First of all, I'm even surprised. Bados, welcome to the show again. I'm surprised. The last time I met Bados, he told us he was selling us the whole of Nigeria. He told us that he was actually selling the Nigerian Aso Rock to us as his property. He told us we were going to win the Premiership. Watch and see. It's early. Bados, the truth of the matter is this: Chelsea has average players. No fault of theirs that they were purchased for the amount of money that they got purchased for. But the fact there is they're not consistent. Average players can be consistent. They're not consistent. That's why you see, if you watch this show, I keep saying they win one game, they're just like Nigerian NEPA. You get like, hey, bye. They'll take it off. So they win one and they lose 3. That is a hallmark of a team that is inconsistent. You ask yourself, what is the clear path? Tottenham win, lose, you see the fingerprints of what Poglus is doing with that team. Chelsea does not have that. That's number 1. Number 2, I've always stated on this show that after the first 3-4 weeks, I noticed something. Due to the tactical play, I noticed that Chelsea find it difficult to beat low block teams. The teams that you just mentioned right now that we were supposed to win and we didn't win were teams that played on the low block. What that low block means is you need a creative midfielder or creation to break that. Anybody could pass the ball left ways, right ways, pass back to Badishile to Caicedo to Thiago Silva back to Petrovic. But what happens? The difference between Chelsea and an Arsenal and a Man City or Liverpool is even when you play those low blocks, they find a way to beat that press and to drag you out to score. We don't have that right now. And that's why you see the players are struggling. That's why Reggie was able to tell you the first 20-25 minutes, you know what Crystal Palace did? They came out. Chelsea plays better with that. We came out, we were doing toe-to-toe. Caicedo was playing like a Claude Makalele. Everybody was bubbling. The moment Crystal Palace sat back, Hudson told them, sit back, Chelsea was lost. They didn't know what to do again. So the question we should be asking as Chelsea players is, Bados, I want you to be honest and transparent to this forum. As they will tell you, look in the camera. Which Chelsea player in 6 months have you seen has improved in terms of their game? That will give you a sign. If you go to Aston Villa, you could call 6, 7, 8 players that have improved from when Gerrard was there. And now when Emery is there. You could go to Liverpool, you could go to Arsenal, Manchester City, the reason they are struggling to the same thing. So I'm pointing it to you. For you to be successful, you call all the games you talk. It's soccer. All the games we won, the other teams could have been like, oh, if we had done this, if we had not missed these chances, we would have won those games. So in soccer, it's 50-50. So don't come here to say, oh, because Chelsea missed chances. No, other teams miss chances too. So that is the crux of the matter. You got to accept it. But I also wanted to ask you about those. Are we still winning the league?
Well, as you can see, we're falling short, so we are falling short again. Part of it is because we have a lot of injuries in the beginning of the season.
Injuries are always there now. What those injuries are always there. You didn't know there was
Yeah,
going to be injuries before.
That is looking like a Delta State
let me
aspirant.
let me finish. We've had well, if you look at what I'm saying now, Man United are having the same problem. Why? Because they have injuries too. I mean, you can't have your first team players injured and you still perform the same way because of. Remember when the Man United went to was it West Ham, right? Who was their center back? I don't know who that was.
Yeah, but but you can say that everybody has had the same problem. This Arsenal has not Partey has not played 5 games this season for Arsenal.
No.
He has not played five games.
No.
During Timber was very good in the charity shield and friendly on the season. He got injured for like how many months now? So you can't use that as an excuse or reason why you're not going to win the league.
Let's be honest. You bought Declan Rice 105 million because you want him to replace Thomas Partey. And he's still been there. So when you say Partey has been out injured and this, it's a different thing.
They bought Caicedo and Enzo to do the same thing for Chelsea, and they are there. They've not got injured. They've been playing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying.
So if you're going to go by that argument, so my point is, every team has had injury problems this season. Just like City is struggling without Rodri. Yes, it's a fact, but it's not supposed to be an excuse. As a team, you should find a way when those players are not there. It just like last season, we know Arsenal lost the league because Tomiyasu and Saliba got injured. That's a fact, but it's not an excuse.
Yeah. So what I'm saying for Chelsea, our reason
of not winning the league,
for falling short this time. We can still win the Carabao Cup. We can still win the FA Cup.
I'm talking about the league. You said the Chelsea was going to win the league.
It's not going to be this season. I can tell you that. But...
Okay, thank you. Jude, we are wrapping up. You came in a little bit late. I know you couldn't miss this. I know you could.
Bados look in the camera and repeat that the people are watching. They want to look at the camera and say.
I know Jude couldn't miss this one. Even if it's just for 2 minutes, you had to just drop it to see this see your man say it to your face that Chelsea is going to win the league.
Yeah. Yeah, good to see Bados and this edition, Yeah. I just pop in. I'm on my way from work, so.
Yeah, we're looking at the game. Yeah, I could see that Chelsea had some vibrant display at the first 15 minutes of that game, because Crystal Palace open.
Anyway, Chelsea, I've told you before, Chelsea got some quality young stars, just recall that in this game, they made about 4 or 5 substitutes,
exactly.
Which is something to begin to tell you, the quality in the side and the surprises that team can spring up at any time. All they need is consistency. And for me, I've always been of the fact that Poch is putting himself under undue pressure, probably from the fans. That is understandable, but he has to stick with his plan. If I were him. There's no need trying to rush up the table because he's not going to guarantee that consistency for now. For me, that's what it's going to be. He's going to be having it in the game. The boys can wake up, do a lot of things. You see the powerful runs those lads are making. The Modric, the Maduekes, and Gusto, exactly, Nkunku, and those guys they got powerful runs. And for me, they remind me of the combination of what's this guy's name? Kai Havertz, the guy that went to United, the American guy.
Okay,
What's his name?
okay, yeah. Pulisic and
Pulisic and Mason Mount.
Mason Mount.
Beautiful. Those guys, So for me, if they've got that kind of, it's just a replacement of those that chemistry going, and making sure the passes are in the right place, they will wreak havoc to anything, because the direct runs are something else. There's no team that could withstand them on their good day. So I appreciated the game.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated the game, and that's what they should calm down and execute their plans, just like that in every game. They might not be consistent for now, which is their position on the table is a testimony to that. How they still got a lot of games to go in the league, so they can still push forward. They've got the quality. I must give it to them, but they need to calm down and execute their strategy for every game.
Yeah. I think I agree with you on that.
Well, Reggie, let me ask him before he goes. I watched the last podcast. Jude was saying that he hasn't seen anything Poch has done since he got there. So this contradicts what he said on your last show. But like he said, he hasn't seen nothing that Poch has done since he came to Chelsea. So I'm wondering what he's saying today is contrary to what he said on your last show.
Yeah, before you answer, I think what you say that there's quality there. That doesn't mean that Poch has done anything.
I'm only telling you that there's a potential,
Yeah,
there's a potential, because for me, why I say he hasn't done anything is because we haven't seen any consistency,
any improvement.
I've told you that he might be building something, but what he's building is not yet manifest. We can't see it in one game, and we'll not see it in the next 3 games. So for you to be on that path, there must be a consistency in what you are doing. But we are seeing there are some flashes of what we think he is doing. No doubt.
Yeah, and to me, I said that for me, because usually the way to make an impact in a team as a coach, when you come in, you focus on one aspect of their game and develop it. But I think he's working on everything at the center. Just like Nimi just said it a while ago, that he hasn't seen any player in Chelsea that has improved this season. They are all still playing doing the same thing they were doing at the beginning of the season. So I think Poch, like Jude said, Poch needs to have a plan and stick to it, regardless of what the fans are saying. We've seen this last now with Arteta. It took him 2 years to get to where he is now, and people were calling for his sack, but he was hell-bent on what the plan was. He told us he had 5 phases of his plan, and he was doing it stage by stage, and he could see it. So I think Chelsea should do the same thing. Poch should develop a plan, and like right now, defensively, Chelsea is struggling. Going forward, they're not taking their chances. In the middle, they're not controlling games that perfectly. So what is he working on? What has he worked on? He needs to focus either on the defense or attack-wise, or you can say Chelsea have 10 chances, they take 9. That will be a reputation. So you don't give them chances, because once you give them, they will take it. Or you say, I had to break down. So you can't score against them. If they score you, they will win. Stuff like that.
Well, I can tell you so many things he's done since we started this season. I can tell you that last season, the whole of last season, we scored only 38 goals in the whole of last season. Mm-hmm. This season, already halfway in, we scored 31. That's improvement offensively. If you look on the table, right, take a look on the table. A team like West Ham, they have conceded more goals than Chelsea. They have conceded more than 30, or maybe 30 or more, but they're sitting on 5th position. So Manchester City has conceded about 21 goals, and they're sitting somewhere up there.
Yeah, so but that's what I'm telling you. The problem is that
Chelsea conceding a lot of goals. Is the Premier League? Clean sheets are not guaranteed every day.
Of course, definitely.
We just have to.
But Chelsea is not strong in one aspect of the game. There's no one aspect of the game you say they are stronger. There's none. The only thing they are good at is creating chances. Yeah, they can create. That's where I give them.
If you ask me today, what is he going to work on? I will tell you defensively. If we can get our act together defensively, I mean, Chelsea will be.
Yeah, before this game, Chelsea has scored 29 goals, considered 28. That's a very bad balance sheet to have in as a football team before this game.
It's not.
And Wado, let me tell you something that is very obvious in that squad. You know, that squad has not gelled. What you are seeing presently is still the personal abilities of those young lads that are running.
Right.
That's what you're just saying. So yeah, Poch has a lot of work to do.
Okay, guys, our time is up. Thank you for
the earlier he gets that team, you know.
Okay, yeah, thank you, guys. Nimi, thank you for stopping by. Wados, it's good to have on the show. You know, we'll see what the next games are going to bring, and we'll take you. It's good to have you guys, and let's go from here. Wados, Chelsea will win the league. Nimi.
No, I mean, it's good to clarify.
It looks like you're retracting from it now. So,
I mean, clarification. The word head, you saw your lips move. There's no clarification or misinterpretation. This is
it's good to. I mean, it's good to clarify. It's obvious we're not going to win it, but we can grind our way. We can grind our way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our viewers, you have heard that. But those people who probably are going to bet their house, their mortgage for Chelsea within the league based on his prediction, he can make a rethink now. Bados has said that Chelsea is not
they can get to 8th position. Yes, that would be nice.
Chelsea is not within the league again this season. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to this channel. Let's see what your views are. You have seen what the guys have said about this game, these two games, the Chelsea Everton game, and of course Chelsea playing Crystal Palace. And we'll be back again. The fixtures are coming thick and fast as usual at this time of the season. Some games are coming up tomorrow. Have more games over the weekend. I'll try to bring these guys back for the Chelsea games. But we'll try and make more time for us. Our viewers are missing you. They need to hear more of your prophecies. Thank you, guys, and good to see you. Peace out.
Okay.
All right.